Alright. We're looking for the dude Willidus. Oh. This was the place that I couldn't get into earlier. A hunt is a clash between the hunter's cunning and the shrewdness of the prey. When the prey expects a trap, the hunter's acumen is put to the test in trying to subvert such expectations. Willidus has proven he understands this fundamental principle. The commander bursts through the front door and freezes. For all the tales about the mansion supposedly becoming a citadel, no one in their right mind... No one is there to assault the unwanted guests. There are no arrows, no battle cries, and the expensive furniture hasn't been turned into barricades. The commander and his companion carefully examine the luxurious antechamber. There are two doors leading deeper into the mansion. One bears a symbol of a mirror, and the other the knife. There's a bloody pigeon feather in front of the door, and a note that contains two words, "Welcome, Assassin." The commander recalls that the bloody feather is a symbol of Shax, the Blood Marquis. Marquis. It's probably Marquis. This demon lord is infamous for luring his victims into a labyrinth of deadly traps. The door slams shut behind him. The commander... Page 2 is blank. Enter the door with the mirror. Stepping through the doorway, the commander suddenly feels nauseous, and an icy chill runs across his skin. His intuition screams that he has just passed through an interplanar portal, and he instantly loses all sense of direction and balance. It seems the rooms of this mansion occupy different layers of reality, and these portals unite them into an elaborate labyrinth where a single wrong turn is enough to lose one's way entirely. Just too early for reading. Greed and arrogance are traits inherent to almost all demons, and the lord of the mansion seems eager to prove himself without equal in the indulgence of both of these vices. The door leads into a magnificent sitting room. It hasn't been furnished in the manner indicative of tasteful refinement. The lamps' reflections sparkle off the gilded furniture. The floor is covered with elaborate mosaics, and the shelves are filled with expensive trinkets. As if all this luxury wasn't enough, the whole room is reflected back again in the giant mirror that covers the entire ceiling. As soon as the commander enters, the mirror's surface ripples and starts to bubble, bulging and oozes like molasses. It sends a sticky tendril down toward the outsiders, and in a single touch from those appendages pierces the flesh with a sepulchre chill. Tend to break the miracle with a powerful blow. The mirror with a powerful blow. With a furious cry, Kang strikes the mirror with all his might. The surface shatters with a deafening clang. The shards fall down in a glimmering waterfall, smashing into tiny fragments. On impact, by right, the trophy... shatters into tiny fragments on impact. I paused in a weird way. By right, the trophies of the battlefield belong to the victor. The commander invokes that right and fills his purse with a considerable number of gold trinkets that any merchant would be glad to barter for more useful items. There are 3 doors that lead out from this room, occupied by the strange carnivorous mirror. The commander decides to open one bearing the symbol of... Wow, I got a bunch of gold stuff. That's cool. A tooth-filled maw. Everyone makes mistakes. The difference between an amateur and an expert is simply that the expert knows how to hide those mistakes in some deep, dark hole. It seems the commander has found the place where the lord of his mansion hides his mistakes. The walls of the room are splattered with blood up to the ceiling, and the floor is shaped like a funnel. There's a stand for steel poles with bloody hooks at their ends. Gravediggers use such tools to drag dead plague victims into their corpse carts. With a sudden click, the stone floor turns to ice. causing the commander to slip and slide down towards the giant gap in the center of the room, where it is now possible to discern the maw. It is a giant round mouth with hundreds of long, sharp teeth, a massive throat, and a staggering foul odor of hundreds of decaying corpses. This maw is a gigantic corpse eater which gorges itself on the results of failed and unsuccessful experiments. I can do any of these. Try to restrain the monster by wedging a steel pole between its jaws. Kang grabs a metal pole with a hook that must have been used to drag corpses and rushes forward to wedge it between the monster's jaws, keeping it open. The monster wheezes, trying with all its might to shut its jaws, but its thrashing only makes the steel sink deeper into the slimy flesh. Eventually, the monster will snap the pole in half, but at least this daring feat allows Kang some precious moments to escape the room. Slowly but surely, digging his heels into the slippery surface of the ice, the commander manages to escape the monster's maw and climb up to safe distance towards the wall. The pole creaks and bends in the horrible jaws, and the commander quickly retreats from the room. 3 doors with different symbols lead from the monster's lair. The commander decides to open the one bearing the symbol of, a full moon. The commander enters a magnificent bedroom, ends up knee-deep in a seemingly bottomless pile of soft blankets, fuzzy rugs, plump feather beds, and other covers of all sorts and shapes. The allure and promise of sweet dreams. If only Kang would lie down and close his eyes. It's a dangerous temptation. Anyone who allows the fluffy killers to put them to sleep won't wake up again. They will crawl over their victims, piling up around them and suffocate them and smother them to death. Carving through a feather bed with his blade, the commander sees glistening flesh, and thick ichor oozes from the rend in the fabric, yet no book has ever mentioned such a strange and bizarre creature. The commander can only guess that this is the result of a strange experiment on some predatory swarm organism that disguises itself as something harmless and then preys on those it lures close. The commander decides the best decision would be find and destroy the leader of the swarm. The rug bleeds when carved with the blade. They are a swarm or a pack, and therefore they have a leader. Kang surges forward, allowing the hungry mass to smother and bury him under its weight, while he dodgily presses ahead. At last he finds a large purple cluster of flesh that resembles a giant brain. When touched, it wobbles and quivers like jelly. Kang splits it open with a single blow, and the wounded creature emits a barely audible high-pitched squeal. The rug swarm bulges and convulses in pain, dying in terrible agony. It would seem that the creatures had an invisible link, and destroying the brain doomed the whole brood. The commander decides to search the place, and... who knows what the secret compartments have been hidden beneath these repulsive mass of fabric and flesh. The search reveals a disguised niche. Inside it is a stack of papers. These are journals of a madman surgeon who researched the brains of living creatures. The experiments described on these pages are as repulsive as they are enlightening for anyone who isn't too squeamish to finish the reading. 2 doors with different symbols lead from the master bedroom. The commander decides he would rather take his chances behind the one with... I got the vivisector's notes. Let's take the one with the boiling cauldron. The commander walks into an enormous kitchen. There are massive cauldrons with shiny polished sides, and a green flame flickers with a magical oven. The aroma of delicious spices beckons from the countless cupboards and shelves that line the walls. However, as soon as the commander enters the room, the cauldron lid flies up into the air, blown off by powerful explosions. A nasty grayish-pink slime oozes out of the open cauldron, swelling up like dough. The slime flows down onto the floor, gathering up massive clotted clusters. Which then begins to crawl towards the commander. Kang has never seen or read of such a creature before, It is reasonable to suggest that this was the outcome of a complicated and perverted magical experiment. This carnivorous slime was captured in a cave and subjected to magical transformations and fed entirely with brain tissue. That's hot. The commander searches the kitchen for a poisonous concoction to use against the slime. Avoiding the slime's attack, Kang rummages in the drawers until he finds what he was looking for. A few copper flasks filled with caustic salt. He jumps on the table and generously spills the salt around himself. The moment a grain of salt lands on the slimy monster, the creature begins to bubble, darken, and shrivel. In a matter of moments, all that remains of the creature is a glistening oily film on the floor. After meticulously examining the food on the undisturbed shelves, the commander decides to rest. He takes the opportunity to recuperate and bandage his wounds. It is thinking ahead, rather than rushing forward recklessly, that separates able tacticians from those who rashly press on and perish. 2 doors lead from the kitchen, where it is apparently easier to be eaten than to eat. The commander chooses the one that's marked with, "Well, I was already in the full moon, so I guess we'll go to the blazing fire." The commander finds himself in a long stone passage. No traps are triggered by his careful steps, yet at the end of the passage, his vision grows blurry. The illusion of safety falls apart like a house of cards, revealing an endless fiery field, ashen mountains, rivers of lava, and magmatic volcanoes. Hot wind scorches his face. It is not difficult to conclude that the deadly place is the elemental plane of fire. Ash and volcanic rock tremble beneath the commander's feet, but walking on it seems safe enough for now. The only escape route is in the distant 3-way arch of roughly hewn stone containing 3 similar doors. However, in order to reach it, the commander must find a way past the river of fire, in which tiny islets of porous stone are just barely visible. The river spews out tongues of roaring flame that land on the banks and crystallize into dark glass. As a result, both banks of the river have become steep, jagged cliffs of obsidian. Let's go with the religion check. Walk along the bank looking for a ford, guided by my knowledge of interplanar travel. Kang remembers a few tales of travelers who survived the plane of fire and decided to venture forth along the fiery river's bank. The trek is long and dangerous, but after a couple of hours, he finally finds what he's been looking for: a strip of hardened black glass arching across the stream of lava like a volcanic bridge. He carefully makes his way to the other side using the makeshift bridge and climbs up to the stone arches. After reaching the stone portals, the commander decides which of the 3 doorways to enter. Eventually, he settles on the one with a rod. The door doesn't budge. The commander forces it open with his weight and enters the same hall where the dangerous expedition first began. The cozy, comfortable setting in no way hints at nightmares that await the commander inside the mansion. The door outside is wide open, and through the doorway, dark figures can be seen clutching weapons. All of this was nothing but a warm-up. The final decisive battle is still to come. The commander prepares for a fight as he steps outside the accursed mansion. The gang leader of demons is grotesquely disfigured, even by the standards of the Abyss. A disproportionately large and bloated head rests on a tiny, disformed body, covered in bumps and furrows like a shriveled walnut. What seems to, at first, be a mane of hair standing up on end is revealed on closer inspection to be bone needles sticking out from his pale, blistered skin. Where his mouth should be, there is instead a bony plate formed from yellowing teeth that have grown together. It protrudes from his torn and lacerated lips. His voice appears to come from a slobbering, undulating hole in his neck just beneath his chin. More bloody larvae showing up on my palace. I'm getting very tired of these visits. What a freak. Even I feel somewhat conflicted. Would killing this creature be an act of cruelty or mercy? I do not wish to show mercy to the scum that set me up. Who are you? A snort of derision escapes the creature's throat, and he makes a dismissive gesture with his hand, the dirty nails curling into long, thin spirals. You don't even know who you've decided to challenge? Let these words herald your imminent death, outsider. I am Willidus, the wizard confidant of the advisor of the Lady in Shadow. I'm also known as the Vivisector. So many words. I simply call you a corpse. Less impressive sounding, perhaps, but easy to remember. Why did you put a hit out on Darazand and give Greybor a faulty magical weapon? He hisses in frustration, spittle flying from the neck hole. Nonsense. Why would I want that idiot dead? What possessed him to think that I was the one who put out a hit on him? And how dare you pathetic amateurs even think that a scheme of mine might possibly fail? If I truly wanted to kill Darazand, he'd be long gone. But no, I don't give a damn about anyone from that swarm of locusts. I expected such an answer. For some reason, whenever I corner these scoundrels and demand reckoning, none of them are brave enough to come up to own up to their crimes. And they never go quietly when I slit their throat. Why did you turn your house into a trap? I was expecting assassins, and therefore I prepared a warm welcome for such guests. I trust that you appreciated my vivarium. When I am finished with you, you'll become a new decoration for my palace and another test for those who follow you. You will be mine. Some of you will be mindless pets, and the other will be attractive ones. I may use you to meet the other's needs. Did you create the monsters I found in the mansion? You call them monsters, silly boy? What can you possibly know about it? Those are masterpieces of vivisection, impossible creations conceived not by nature, but born of my scalpel, needle, and magic. So who do you think wants you dead? My enemies are many and dangerous, and I could spend an eternity guessing, but there's no need for that. Once I've killed you, I will soak your warm little brains in my concoctions, and read the names of my enemies like tea leaves into their wrinkled patterns, and then I will have a lovely dinner. What do you think of Greybor? Or what do you think, Greybor? Usually I'm quite capable of detecting lies, but this ugly wretch is impossible to read. And why does it matter anyway? Even if he's not lying, we do will to get rid of him. He just tried to kill us with his mansion. Besides, will you ever sleep knowing this monstrosity is alive somewhere? Your words reek of deceit. The demon's eyes flare with anger, and his smug giggle gives way to a low menacing growl. Soon we shall find out what your tiny, ridiculous, worm-eaten brain smells like. Kill him. The dwarf grins ominously. I won't lie, I've been waiting for this moment. Tomorrow morning, my reputation will be spotless once again. Sweet dreams. Grappled.
Simply business.
I will resist.
I would go by that one.
Begone, fiend!
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
It's your time to cease to exist.
Prepare yourself.
Poor Zala, the projection that is a tall female demon unlike any of her kind. She seems slimmer and with a less less stocky in build. Upon closer examination, you realize that her thinness is caused by extreme emaciation, which makes her look like a withered tree. The skin on her neck and wrists bear the marks of shackles, and her body is covered with the flaming seals of Baphomet. Lowering her eyes, the demoness addresses you quietly. Allow me to congratulate you. The short work you've made of Willidus proves you are a true professional. I am Horzala, and on behalf of the Assassin's Guild, I congratulate Greybor on completing his contract. You have fulfilled the order we have received for Willidus' murder, and therefore you have the right to collect your bounty. Even though you are not a guild member yourself, I'm sure you have many questions about what has happened. I doubt our guild is hard to find, therefore a notice board at its entrance. There is a notice board at its entrance where the assassination contracts are posted. Do you know what happened here? I may know a thing or two, but we should discuss these matters inside the guild, not in public. Who's going to overhear us? The corpses? Why don't you come here and speak to us face to face instead of projecting his illusion? Or are you afraid we won't like the answers and will make you join Willidus? We will pay the Assassin's Guild a visit. Thank you for your answer. The bounty awaits you. I'm not sure what reward awaits us. I truly hope it's a considerable sum of gold and not a meager payment served up with the end of a blade. Ring of Protection 4. Windfall. A +1 luck bonus on attack rolls and saving throws. It's hard to do that kind of stuff when I have things that give me statistical upgrades. +4 morale bonus to initiative checks. Cloak of Resistance 4. None of this is all that impressive. Vivisector's notes. Okay. So where's the Assassin's Guild? I want to say... the Assassin's Guild was... God, I want to say it was in the Middle City? With the 10,000 delights. Now I'm upstairs. Wait, no, I was always upstairs. Thought they might talk to me about the other thing. They did not. There's essentially nothing more to do here. Literally all the named people don't want to have a conversation with me. Okay, is the Assassin's Guild here? Harem of Ardent Dreams. I gotta do that at some point. Let's go back inside. There's a portal here, right? Bad Luck Tavern. At least I know the 10,000 Delights can do both middle and upper districts. Well, I could have sworn I saw it at some point. Alright, maybe it's in the upper city then. And I just have not discovered it. What's here? It says there's 2 things to do here. Maybe these buildings are not buildings that you can just
Head on!
see on the map. You have to come across them.
I lead. You follow. Onwards!
Desna, guide my hand!
Nice.
The light takes you!
You're in my way.
Let's hear you cry.
Make your peace. Into the fray!
I will bring down the divine wrath.
You had your chance.
Run them through.
Nice.
I will resist! The Inheritor, guide my blade!
Eternal Rose, I call upon you.
Simply business.
Nice. Griffin guy's a bit peckish. Oh my god.
Out of my way!
What's up, Matthew?
The goddess protects us.
Okay. Save there. It's like watchful conspirator. What the heck is this?
It's your time to cease to exist.
Prepare yourself! The light take you!
Die! Begone, fiend!
You're in my way.
Yeet, yeet.
Move out! I will lend you my aid.
Oh wait, the way down is over here. Wait, what was that say back here? Oh, climb to the rooftops. heck is this Assassin's Guild?
I lead. You follow.
Go down at the rooftops. Alright, what's down here?
I'm glad I was useful to you.
Into the slums.
I finished here. Is there more?
Nope, it's just leading me here. Okay. Oil. The Assassin's Guild. Well, where the hell is it? Where is the Assassin's Guild? Oh, it's next to the 10,000 Delights. Alright, so it is up here. Over here? Oh, wait. It's in this area, apparently. No, here it is. Oh. I knew I'd seen it before.
Onwards!
It's a good hidden place for it, though. This doesn't look good. Save. Yaz, the demon standing before you clearly has a penchant for jewelry. His fingers are covered in rings, 3 gold chains encircle his neck, and 4 bejeweled earrings sparkle in each of his ears. However, such exquisite adornments are not enough to hide the fact that he is a hardened warrior and a ruthless killer. His face and hands are covered in long, badly healed scars, and he moves as gracefully as the most skilled swordsman. There's a invisible dude right here I can see. The demon lips curl. Look who's here. It's the arrogant Galarian who disposed of poor Willidus. His eye catches... He catches your eye and frowns slightly, giving a pointed glance towards his bodyguards. You aren't about to do something really stupid and start a massacre here, right? Can we just talk? Who are you, the leader of this gang of assassins? Yes, and I'm proud of it. The Abyss is full of butchers and monsters, so anyone who chooses to be an assassin amongst monsters and butchers commands a high level of respect. If they live long enough to make a name for themselves, of course. My guild attracts assassins from many planes. No one hires us for simple things, like murdering noisy neighbors or cutting the throat of a cheating merchant. As I'm sure you all know, it's easier and cheaper to do that yourself. There's no need to get an assassin involved. If someone turns into assassin, it means that the victim is dangerous, cunning, and well protected. I've heard a lot about you, Yaz. You're the head of a highly reputable guild that operates on many planes beside the Abyss. Many of my colleagues would consider it an honor to work alongside you, unlike myself. Nod towards the projection. This horned thing is one of yours? Horzala? Yes. This little demoness is one of my most useful servants. Besides, it's so very prestigious to have a daughter of Baphomet working underneath you. Perception. Yes, master, I am your servant. For a fleeting moment, you notice a shadow of angry displeasure across her face. A spark of fear flashes in Yaz's eyes, like a boy who realizes he's gone too far when testing the patience of his parents. Tell me the truth. Yaz raises his hand apologetically. Several rings glitter on his fingers. Fine, fine. It was... I was the one who actually gave Greybor the assignments. I needed to light a little fire underneath this cauldron, where so many minions of demon lords are being mixed together. I ordered him to murder those demons in Canabras and put a hit out on Darazand, although the ugly idiot didn't bother me at all. He was an ugly idiot indeed, and a vengeful one to boot. That's why I gave Greybor a dagger that was only supposed to wound the Baelor, and that's why Willidus' name was important. It was a perfect hand of cards. Darazan survived after suffering a painful and humiliating wound by a mortal's hand. No offense, of course. The Baelor couldn't simply let that go, and he started a vendetta against Willidus, dragging other Deskarites into it. And that was my goal all along, because Willidus was my real target, a target that was difficult to reach. People like you are why us assassins have such a lousy reputation. No respect for agreements. I'll say nothing. Staying quiet, Commander? I'll have a few words to say to this fellow when the time is right. You're the head of an assassin's guild. Why didn't you just send your other underlings after Willidus? Who says I didn't? I lost a number of capable killers. And yet, as you can see, I found a more elegant and economical way to execute this plan. I won't lie to you, this kind of plotting makes me very proud of my own guile. My assistants made sure that every larva in this city knew about the bounty on Willidus' head. I knew that Greybor had returned to the capital and decided to use him once more. Just like poor Darazand, he had no idea he was merely just a pawn of mine. Just as I had envisioned, you didn't linger. You paid Willidus a visit, and I had no doubt that Paranoiac would try to kill anyone who crossed his doorstep. But I expected you to overcome him, and I was right. I thought your guild had the best contractors. After hearing your story, they sound like amateurs. Why'd you do all of this? For money and power, of course. This has been my primary motivation for many years now. Someone wanted that old wood louse dead. And clever Yaz has fulfilled their wish, with the expectation of being showered in privileges and treasures. You're getting your share of those privileges and treasures, by the way. I trust you're not going to refuse the reward provided to freelance operatives. Trust me, the sum is considerable. I hadn't forgotten about you either. You'll be rewarded in your proportion to your truly outstanding lethality. Oh, I'll take the gold, don't you worry. The demon flashes his perfectly sharp teeth and snaps his fingers. Suddenly, a thick purse appears in front of you. No doubt we've come to an understanding. After all, we share a common language, the language of gold. 100,000 gold. Since it was my reputation that was damaged as a result of this plot, I consider it fair to claim 20% of the total fee. That is fair. I appreciate your integrity when it comes to business. As for you, Greybor, you've proven your competence. As a token of apology, allow me to offer you membership into the Assassin's Guild. Consider it the recognition of your talents that you have long desired. I promise you prestige, respect, and a truly staggering fee. Of course, I won't demand that you sever your current contract. You may claim your well-deserved place in our guild when it expires. So what do you say? Will you be coming to join the big leagues? He turns to you with a serious expression. His voice is reserved and formal. We are bound by an active agreement, and therefore I must consult your opinion. Have you ever thought about quitting the business? Becoming what? A farmer, a butler, or maybe an innkeeper? One of those who tell tall tales about their adventurous use to drunk patrons? My soul is that of a wanderer and a killer. My art is the only source of my pride, and abandoning it will make me useless in my own eyes. Believe me, I've already tried to settle down and find an honest job, and nothing came of it. I will quit my profession only when I'm judged by Pharasma herself. Are you truly prepared to throw your lot in with demons? With a heavy sigh, he looks at you straight in the eye. Is there really much of a difference between me and them? They are the product of the worst parts of our mortal souls. They are sin incarnate. Many say the same thing about me. I was never a coward, so I'm able to admit that my soul is black and evil. I murder others for money, and I will never become a respectable member of society, a friend or a father. But I'm tired of asking forgiveness for what I am. Here I will not be judged for my profession. He clenches his fist and mutters through gritted teeth. I'm not the freak or monster they think of me back on Galarian. How dare they hire me to murder their enemies and then despise me for my profession? They'll treat me differently in the Abyss. The demons respect my skills. They will treat me as a professional, not a criminal or a blackguard. It's strange to say this, but I don't feel out of place here. Yeah, it's your decision to make. Greybor studies you for a moment and then nods respectfully. Such words make me respect you even more. Believe me, I appreciate your willingness to let this decision be entirely my own. The dwarf does not waste time as he looks at Yaz. Where do I sign? What are you talking about? We're not devils after all. He claps his hands loudly. Splendid! You've got a bright future here, my diminutive yet deadly friend. Yaz gives a bored yawn, and then there's a single finality in his tone. Well, this was very enlightening conversation, but I see no reason why we should continue. You've received your answers, and you should probably be on your way. Meanwhile, I should get back to plotting another bloody and violent murder. Have a good day. After a suspicious glance at Yaz in your direction, he turns to you. Indeed, this was an unexpected meeting. If you want to discuss what happened privately, I'm at your service. Boulder. Alright. Well, fair enough. Talk to Greybor. Alright, what else do we have? Secure an audience at the Harem of Ardent Dreams. Alright, let's go talk with Greybor so we can get that done with. Arrange a meeting with Nocticula for Ember. Become famous and get Nocticula's attention. That will get me the meeting for Ember. Alright. So yeah, I should go... Go back to the Nexus. We'll talk to Greybor and the Hand of the Inheritor. Perhaps I should thank you for your help. You assisted me in dealing with Yaz's schemes, even though you didn't need to do so. I'm grateful for that. Can you explain what kind of mess we're involved ourselves in now? He pauses for a minute. An anonymous client ordered Yaz, the head of the Assassin's Guild, to kill Willidus. He tried to take the target down several times, but Willidus turned out to be quite a tough nut to crack. Yaz gave me a new anonymous assignment, killed Darazan, and told me that Willidus sent his best regards. However, Yaz gave me the weapon that could only wound Darazan and not kill him. He hoped it would provoke Darazan and make him angry enough to kill Willidus himself. Of course, you killed Darazan before he ever had a chance to do anything else. When Yaz found out that we were both in the Abyss and that I'd be eager to talk to Willidus, he started to give me hints as to where I could find the fella. We lived up to his expectations. Willidus dies, and I'm sure you remember what happened next. So we killed Willidus for no reason? Well, it depends on how you look at it. Was he to blame for the damage to my reputation? No. Was he an utterly disgusting creature whose face practically begged me to sink an axe into it? Did he try to kill us in his own manner? Were the creatures we encountered in said manner the most atrocious and perverted things I've ever met? The answers to all these questions is yes. I don't think anyone's going to cry themselves to sleep over his death, and neither should we. Your reputation has been restored. How do you feel? There's a spark of amusement. I feel at peace. Now people will think twice before attempting to ruin my good name. I'm grateful my companions didn't leave me to deal with this all by myself, even though they had every right to do so. So while I'm used to working alone, I appreciate a team I can trust. It's good to have someone who's got my back. Who cares about reputation anyway? People are always wagging their tongues. It might not matter as much to you as it does to me, but a vagabond like myself can only rely on 3 things in life. His good name, a sharp blade, and a sturdy pair of boots. What do you think your membership in the Assassin's Guild, in the Abyss? He hides a smug smile beneath his beard. I think the position rightfully belongs to me. This guild is not as infamous as the Red Mantis, the legendary fanatic assassins who perceive their victims as offerings from their god, or the silent monks of Anaphexia who guard some kind of secret knowledge and murder anyone who dares to touch it. But its name still means something to the discerning client. The capital is a crossroads between several different planes, and Yaz's assassins work not only in the Abyss, but on Galarian and in many other interesting places. The fact that I was accepted into this society is undeniable proof of my professionalism. I'm grateful that you did not insist on the exclusivity of our contract, but allowed me to reap the benefits of my hard work. What about our contract? Do you desire to terminate it? First, it would have been highly unprofessional to abandon you after you helped me. Second, the war is still in full swing. Well, my departure would have been a source of gossip, which would have in turn damaged my reputation beyond repair. I don't want people to perceive me as a coward who fled from a good fight. Third, I've long since discovered that working for you is profitable in more ways than one. You are always trying to take down the most dangerous targets, and they make a great addition to my trophy list. Alright. I'm good. So now that quest is complete. Yeah. Secure an audience at the Harem of Ardent Dreams. I'll probably do that next. Let's check with the hand and see what he says about our current status. How well am I known amongst the denizens? Nocticula herself has noticed you. The rest of the city has heard of you long before that. anything new? I don't want to talk to her about that. She told me specifically, don't talk to me about my nightmare. Do you still want revenge on the demons for your family's suffering, or has something changed? You know, I guess something has changed. I really want to make the demons pay for everything. For mongrels being cast out, for my mom's tears, for my dad's early death, for the lumps in my porridge, but after I reconciled with my mom, I realized a lot of things. I realized that I just hate feeling helpless. That's it. Whenever I don't know what to do, I start thinking everything is my fault. I thought I hated the demons, but I just actually hated myself. Before the crusade, I'd never met a demon, and then when I saw what they'd done to Wendug, what they'd turned Wendug into, what they were going to do on the surface, it's like everything suddenly became crystal clear. I realized that demons must be destroyed, not because they spat on my ancestors' soup way back when, but just because they are evil and we must defeat if we want to live. Oh, weird. I want to die from arrows, from my arrows, and I watch them die from my arrows, and I know I'm doing the right thing. Of course, it's a drop in the ocean, but as long as my hands obey me, as long as my eyes can see the target, I still have hope that I can do something important. There's still time for that. Thanks. Alright. So, I guess I should go to the Harem of Ardent Dreams. Which is easier to get at through here. We'll drop Greyborn, pick up Lan again. The Harem of Ardent Dreams is near the flesh markets, I think. Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. I still have that. Which I think there's a place in the third, in the upper city to use it. I think this is the harem.
Move out.
Yeah. You're last. You go here. First time here? Are you sure you're welcome here? This is the Harem of Ardent Dreams, the Palace of Shamira, chief demoness in the city. After Nocticula, of course. But when did Nocticula ever care about our petty concerns? Bottom line, the palace belongs to the person who really runs everything around here. Got it? I wish to enter. You are known in the city. I don't think Shamira would deny you an audience. Come on in. Good.
Head on.
Yikes, dude. A red-haired, beautiful demon sits majestically on a throne, an aura of bright light blazing around her. It's not gentle. It's not the gentle life-giving light that shines on Galarian. The light blinds, withers, and makes a person burn with fever, draining their strength. And who do we have here? The latest wanderer from another world, coming to seek my patronage? She throws a casual glance at Arushale and raises an eyebrow. So the rumors are true. Arushale, you really are making friends with mortals now. I must admit, I found it hard to believe such a worthy daughter of the abyss had fallen so low. She falls silent but receives no answer. Well, not that I really care.